Hello, my dear friends from across the fruited plain. Welcome to yet another live stream. April 22nd, 2021. How is everybody doing? Jill, Sharon, DDQT, Alex Jablanowski, Enzo, Mountain Woman, Robert Guy. How are you all doing today? I'm so glad to have you here. And if today contains just a little bit less chit-chat between the threads and the other stuff I'm going to be reading, it's because we have a ton to get to. And just check in with the chat real quick to see how everybody's doing. But let's start, of course, with angelpaste.com. Promo code Ben's Mom. It's got what skin craves. It's a perfect Mother's Day gift. And now we are offering the very, very new scent, a Reading Epic Threads creation, Vanilla Rose. We have decided it is clearly the best scent in the world. If you don't have your Vanilla Rose, get it today. Angelpaste.com, promo code Ben's Mom. The Cracked Egglet, Sue Danthos, Wade Mason, Michelle Miller. How are you doing? One Tony's Gal with a little Pepe meme in there. Where do we go when you close down here? Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Tony's Gal. www.youtube.com/user/pgunnels. Bam. So put that in there for you. And you go there and you'll... Oh, hello, Juliet. How are you? Carolyn Sherman, how are you? Angela, Carla, Dr. Fell. It's great to have everybody here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I don't want this to be a 3-hour stream. But before we begin, I want to send a special thank you to Jay Stacks, aka Jordan, for helping to donate to the trip to Dallas. And I also like to thank JC Bird. And I'd also very much like to thank, of course, Kristen S. So all three of you, thank you so much for the contribution to the trip to Dallas. Jay Stacks, JC Bird, Kristen S. You guys rule. Thank you so much. So let's get moving on all of the stuff that we have in today, a lot of which you may not be too surprised is going to be from Special Ops Kim. So here we go. The Stephen Douglas I have been waiting for. Socialquadvirum.com. Hat tip Special Ops Kim. Thread. This thread assumes a combination of election overturning fraud, foreign and domestic, occurred in 2020. Both were required, but each were great enough to change the outcome, were the other ignored. Consider 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, proof of foreign interference revealed. We caught the bastards. This is in quotes. We caught the bastards. Yes, China, Iran, and others. By the way, this is all completely hypothetical. Hypothetical for the purposes of the YouTube overlords. Totally hypothetical. All very hypothetical. See? Watch me cuck. I'm cucking for you right now, YouTube. Quote, we caught the bastards. Yes, China, Iran, and others successfully defrauded our elections more than enough to change the result. That's how weak we were, but boy, are we going to make them pay for that. Or scenario 2, proof of widespread domestic fraud revealed. Quote, yes, there was foreign interference, as there has always been throughout history, downplay, but real election overturning fraud happened domestically. And boy, are we going to change that going into the future, starting now. As foreign interference is dealt with clandestinely by military capabilities, deftly combined and isolated under Chris Miller. For the moment, set aside the if, when, how remedy for the current mess. I'll get to that. I want to focus only on the moving forward part for now. Which of these above scenarios would be most effective at restoring public confidence in our elections? And notice how everyone uses the word restoring and not maintaining, because public confidence is already destroyed. Rasmussen showed an overwhelming 77% of voters who believed it was important to reform voting laws and procedures before the 2022 midterms. 83% of Republicans, 77% of Democrats, and 71% of independents. The blind and the evil make up a lowly 23% of voters, less than 1 in 4. That's constitutional amendment level obliteration of public confidence. So I would argue against scenario 1 as a confidence restorer, showing all that is dark and evil and nasty under that rock could have the opposite effect. In terms of public perception, it is already a war we lost, failed as a country to defend against, apparently, and forget federalism and state control of elections. That is the overwhelming public, including world, perception. That begs the question, should the federal government, including the military, have successfully defended against foreign interference? Forget whether they did or not. Did they have that duty and responsibility? For me, the answer is, are you fucking kidding me? If the election was stolen via foreign interference and there was no defense, the federal government itself is no longer a constitutional republic. It's a hijacked plane set on a course very different from the one we, the people, chose en masse. The Constitution guarantees to each state a republican form of government. If foreign malefactors were able to defraud states enough to change the results of a federal election, that means that all states were defrauded and therefore no longer have their guarantee, given that you cannot give what is no longer yours to begin with. So yes, the federal government had a profound and sacred duty to protect and appears to have failed. Appears. In main part, apparently, due to assloads of treasonous help from within. And as the common reasoning goes, if we could be beaten once, we can be beaten again. Yesterday it was China, Iran, and whoever else. Tomorrow could be them and or anyone else, which means no confidence moving forward under scenario 1. That is all out of our direct control, and it doesn't address scenario 2, overwhelming evidence of which everyone who looked plainly saw. Scenario 2 is a strictly internal fight against myriad fucking ghoulish clowns. That war could, depending on how it's won, lead to a constitutional amendment before all is said and done, one that reins in all states while also, incidentally, protecting against foreign interference. And that appears to be the order in which we are now proceeding. Clean the inside of the cup first, that the outside may also be clean. So let's talk, quote unquote, devolution. First, devolution is not a monolithic all or nothing thing. Sometimes I hear it talked about in much the same way that I do pretend role plays with my 6-year-old son. Hi there, my car broke down. Okay, here's a car repair part for you. Take the broken part out and put this one in. Okay, thank you. Military says, China stole the election? Oh, shoot then. Okay, one major devolution coming up. Devolution is not all or nothing. It's a gigantic menu of items which are auto pre-selected based on specific, well-defined needs, and only those needed to ensure continuity of legitimate government. It is only there to ensure that we are never leaderless. We're Hydra. Cut off any one head and another legitimate head immediately takes its place, whether the public is aware of it or not. Devolution is not military rule. As Thomas Wichter pointed out, the military does not make policy. constitutionally and otherwise, no power from a missing legitimate leader or head of any of the three branches of government can devolve onto any member of the military. With regard to military, President Trump already created an open devolution, order of succession, executive order for the Department of Defense, which has not been revoked. I'm going to read that one more time. With regard to military, President Trump already created an open devolution, order of succession, executive order for the Department of Defense, which has not been revoked. Think about that for a second, guys. Devolution is not extra-constitutional. Devolution can be pre-ordered only by an existing constitutionally elected and legitimate president under the Constitution and existing laws and statutes in order to protect and defend continuity of government under the same. Mechanics of devolution. Now, let's get down and dirty into the nitty-gritty mechanics of how it's all playing out, what remedies we can expect to see, and when. Vacuous stare. I don't know or care. I assume that it's an ongoing war with battlefield conditions, constantly changing. I also assume that we'll never learn the full extent of it. That could erode confidence. My faith is in God, 100%. And by extension, in the Donald John Trump I personally believe that God gave us. To the extent that some of us strongly believe that some form of devolution is in force now, the mechanics of it would be above all our pay grades and hopefully our enemies' pay grades to discern. By design, I've seen enough evidence to convince me. There is nothing to defend and no need on my part for anyone else to be convinced of anything save what is in our domestic control. That's my only appropriate area of massive focus and concern. The rest is just fun to think and talk about. Sometimes. Until it's not. As when a Pandora's box of fear and worry-dominated unanswerable what-ifs are unleashed. Then back to weird, wonderful people and chocolate cake for me. Good times, noodle salad, as good as it gets. Have faith. We're in good hands, and the best is yet to come. If God has other plans, I prayed for them too when I said, "Thy will be done." I'm at peace with that too. Addendum, my new saying, stick a fork in the road. And that's the thread. Everybody, to support this channel, please go to paypal.me/BitcoinArmada. Angelpaste.com, promo code Ben's mom. If you've got a mom, buy her angel paste. Rose vanilla is the best scent that has ever been created on earth. Buy it for your ma. Angelpaste.com, promo code Ben's mom. JamesMG@Verizon.net. JamesMG@Verizon.net. Get your Q coins, guys. They're badass. They're wonderful. They're heavy. Heavy. 300 made in existence. None will be made again. CooperandFrench.com. If you shave with this. Take a brush, wet it, put it in this, put it all over your face. It's going to produce a closer shave with much less irritation. I will never shave with anything else. And now, guess what? For all of y'all, it's time to say goodbye to everybody who's on the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel. Please come over to the Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel, or if you're watching this on replay, look in the description. There will be a link to the Odyssey replay for the entire uncensored stream.